Welcome back to the channel, good friends. Brian from Apex Detail. We're in the early stages of moving into our new location, which is right next to the old one, so that's convenient. But we have a ton of work to do, and only a few days or a short window to get it done. We have a lot of work lined up, and we have to get things set up temporarily, because what I want to do to the shop long term, we have to set up contractors, and they're 4 to 6 months out. So we need to throw things together to be functional through that time period and get work done in the meantime. So I'm going to show you around and give you an idea of what we're going to throw together rather quickly and temporarily. Our furry little friend awaits us eagerly. Let's step inside. 3 bay doors. The third one is rather large for commercial vehicles and RVs. And it's really a 4-bay garage. You can easily fit 8 cars in here plus. In raw form at the moment, the old tenants just moved out, so it is a mess. We have a lot of work to do. And you'll see this transform over the next few videos. It's going to be a rather dramatic transformation, and I hope you enjoy the process and the ride. From the car bays, and I'll go all the way to the far corner to give you a little bit of an idea how large of a space it is, and then we'll go in and check out the other rooms in the building. A ton of storage space up above the offices and the bathroom/shower and the storage room and utility room. The shop manager already knows where the office is and where she'll be chilling out for most of the time, and modest-sized office, plenty of room. And we have a little room behind the office that will be dedicated to the PPF plotter and most of our films to keep it separate and clean. Bathroom, plenty of room, with a shower and heating lamps up above. Absolutely every room needs to be thoroughly cleaned and painted and refreshed, and we do have that on the list. And finally, in the back corner here, we have the storage/utility room. So I've been scrubbing the floors with these discs and this little tiny machine, and they're like Scotch-Brite pads for concrete floors. Different types of pads to scuff, clean, and then polish. The idea, until I can get somebody in here in a few months and finish my floors for me, is to polish them and seal them after cleaning them, just like, say, Mission Barbecue would have for their floors. In my area, anyways, they just have polished concrete floors with a lot of stuff, bolts exposed, and it works. So we have a Zep concrete floor deep cleaner, and with a ratio you can make up to 20 gallons, and we're going to get that mixed in with some hot water and get to work. They do have a rather large scrubber where you can actually get on the machine and drive it around. That was in use. So what was left is this little tiny thing here, which to me feels like pissing in the ocean, and is discouraging when I look around and look at all the floor and have this little tiny machine to do it. If you have the pads centered and on correctly, which I do not at the moment, I figured that out a little later, the ride is smooth, and the machine, once you get over its quirks, an odd uh, rotation is rather easy to maneuver around, especially with the concentrate, and it's rather slippery. Slow but effective. We are bringing up some of the crud that's worked its way into the floor. I believe before this was transmission or a muffler shop or something. So there's a lot to clean up. We need this perfectly clean, surgically clean for films and coatings. Trying not to turn around and get discouraged by the remaining 6 acres of floor that I have to do, I try to keep a smile on my face. In the meantime, the two Bryans are starting off with doing some painting. And the block, of course, absorbs the paint, so it's going to take a few coats. And the large commercial size sprayer that I wanted, again, in use. The local rental facility we have was pretty much out of everything, my luck, for this week. So here we go with the rollers and some brushes. But it's got to be done, so we get it done. You can see on the concrete floor where I stopped with the machine, and there is a pretty big difference. And it's going to look good once it's finally polished and sealed. We do have areas where the lifts were removed, and you'll be able to see them. So that's where all the work was being done. Heavy parts dropping onto the floor. I don't know if they were dropping transmissions straight to the floor from 6 feet up or what, but the floor is in bad shape in those areas. Probably has a lot to do with the chemicals. So there's going to be about a 10 by 10 foot section that we're going to have to put something down on it temporarily. And I find that locally at Home Depot. I do have one more step before we get to laying down some of the cheap tiling, and that is the polish and seal. We're going to have to swap out the discs, and this disc here is more for giving us a nice sheen on the floor, and then also working in that sealant. So you just lay out some of the product just a little bit. Well, this is a lot, but that's the way I like it. And then grab the machine, come in with the disc, and start to polish and seal at the same time. Since I used 6 gallons of the sealant on a little 4-foot section, I do need to follow up with a mop and just ease things back a little. I used way too much. Give it time to cure, a few hours. Huge difference between where I stopped and where we've worked the floor. And it is a non-slip sealant, so it is grippy. We won't be ice skating around the shop. And what we do need to do is cover those areas where the lifts were and where the floor really took a beating. Painting has to be one of my least favorite chores to do, but I do want to give my son some company getting this done. The other Brian is out getting light bulbs for the shop, so I guess I hesitantly join in. The floor is pretty much dried out, cured up, and there's a pretty big difference where I stopped. And I will have to get the machine back in a few days to finish up the rest of the floor. In the meantime, we can get some of these coin-style tiles down and start interlocking them and cover up the beat-up areas. All you need to get these together, rubber mallet and something for your knees. Not difficult, but time consuming, and you could call it monotonous. My best buddy decides to plop down and keep me company during the process, so I guess all isn't that bad. These aren't bad, they are pricey, and they'll stay together. You just want to avoid turning the steering wheel while you're on top of them, driving straight in, straight out. They're a piece of cake to clean compared to some of the tiles that are out there. So that's what I chose, and of course black to hide a little bit of the dirt. One section complete, and we will be laying down another section. The beat up areas covered up. The nice, clean, polished portions of the concrete are still exposed and look decent. So I give my knees a break, and then we get to the second pack. The shop manager, of course, just wants to play. She has all this room to run around, though. The other Brian is back with the 462 light bulbs that it takes to light up this place. "27 Yuengling Lagers later, I have all of the tiles locked together, and we'll call it a day. We have a long way to go and a huge transformation to show you. We'll catch you in the next video.